All right. We are live for the first edition of our new show called The Exchange. I'm Bryson from the United States.
And I'm Romina from Peru. Bienvenidos al Intercambio.
Nice. As you can see here, the goal is to um, learn more about culture and different places, countries, cultural nuances through conversation. I'm a native English speaker. Romina is a native Spanish speaker, but she knows English as well. And I'm learning Spanish. And so we want to provide a space for language learners to come practice their listening in their target language and also learn fun new topics along the way because we think that language is best learned in community and through conversation. So, this is our first episode. If you are tuned in, we hope that you have some patience with us as we work out a little bit more of how the show, the process of the show, and how it works. If you like what you hear on the first episode, drop it in a comment. If you have any suggestions on potential topics for future shows, drop that in the comments as well. Um, One more thing before we get started. This is a part of Bamboo Languages. We have an online community, an international community of language learners, people who want to learn English or Spanish. We have a live virtual language meetups where you get to come practice conversation with fellow learners. And you could also learn with certified instructors as well. So, more to come there, but this is kind of an extension of our mission to make language learning accessible and learning in community. With that being said, I'd like to get started with our first topic of this new show, and that is the coffee culture in the US versus Peru. Very different. Both countries really um, enjoy and consume a lot of coffee, although in different ways. So, Romina, would you like to kick it off with just a little bit about yourself and then give us just a brief overview of the coffee culture in Peru? And I'll chime in and ask some questions as you present.
Yes, so well, I'm Romina. I work in digital marketing. And regarding the coffee experience here or the coffee culture here, we usually have coffee more like in breakfast, with like it could be like a scrambled eggs or an avocado toast. And then we also have we could have coffee like as a midday, mid evening like snack, or after lunch, like with a sweet treat. And usually here we go to cafeterias like to with our family, with our friends, like to talk and kind of disconnect a little bit from like our day-to-day responsibilities to have a good time. And yeah, that's like usually how we take coffee here in Peru.
Nice. So, to recap there, it sounds like you have it in the morning with a nice breakfast, usually
Yes.
after lunch. Is that what you said?
Uh-huh. Yes.
After lunch, and then after the workday, is that when you go to the cafeteria to enjoy time with family and friends, or is it around that lunchtime hour that you do that?
It could be like after lunch, like usually after lunch, we want like a little sweet treat, like a pastry, and we accompany that with coffee. Or it also could be after work day, like around 6, 7, and we call that here like lonchecito. We can have like a sandwich with like coffee, or like also like a sandwich, a sweet treat and coffee. And we go with friends, with family, like to talk about our days and like, yeah, like to disconnect.
Nice. So I've heard lonche and lonchecito. Do you mind
Yes.
sharing with the non-native Peruvians kind of what that means? It sounds like a local word, right? Kind of like a colloquial saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lonche or lonchecito, it's like a meal that you have like around 6 or 7, and it consists usually of a sandwich, or it could be also like pastry, and you go with like a coffee or like with a tea. It's like a light dinner, let's say. And we go to like cafeterias to try new places, and we go with friends, we go with families, or with our families, I'm sorry. And yeah, it's like a good time to have a good time and talk and eat.
Nice, nice. And so, how do you drink your coffee? What's your preferred way when you're enjoying lonchecito with your family and friends?
I usually prefer like more sweet, like cappuccino, mochaccino, like with milk. But
Hmm.
here, people usually have like more classic one, let's say like espresso or americano.
Hmm.
Yes. What about you?
Very nice. I generally drink it black. I like pour
Hmm.
over. So, just a side note, I visited Lima, where Romina's from, and tried some cafes there. I don't think I tried the right ones because she sends me some pictures and links sometimes of some cafes that look pretty nice and have good pastries and coffee. But there, I
Hmm.
tried. I had Americanos before and
Hmm.
pour over with the V60, or is it Bay Sesenta? I think they call it in Lima. But that's how I usually take it. And it sounds like that lonche, the lonchecito, is really part of the culture there. You know, kind of family,
Yes.
friends, and community. Conversely, with us in the United States, as you might imagine, with just talking with me and working with some other folks from the U.S., we have a
Hmm.
different culture of coffee where it's primarily grab and go. So we have a lot of like um, drive-throughs and
Yes.
takeout coffee restaurants, I say, or coffee houses, like Starbucks, you might have heard of, or some other
Yes.
ones are generally, I would say, the majority of coffee drinkers use drive-throughs and takeout to consume coffee on their way to work, maybe during like a lunch break at work. But there's less of that social aspect. If there
Hmm.
is a social aspect, what you see frequently here is for people to bring their computers or work. Like if they work remotely, they'll bring it to the coffee house. They'll grab a coffee, cappuccino, latte, and work remote from the coffee house. So again, less social, more so a space to either work on schoolwork or work on your job. And if it is social, usually it's take the coffee to go, and you might walk through a park or something with your friends and family. So less of a social aspect, more of a convenience. I would
Hmm.
say over the last probably 15 years, there's been an increase in specialty coffee. So people would, maybe get some beans imported from Central or South America, and they really
Hmm.
enjoy um, the specialty coffee beans. They sit down, they do a pour over or Americano, and have that specialty experience in the cafe that you might see in Latin America. It's just not
Yes.
as frequent, not as social, and not as part of the culture, if that makes sense. Sounds like people wouldn't be working from a cafe in Lima. Is that correct?
Yes, like we have a Starbucks here, but usually people that go to a Starbucks go, like you said, to work. Like when I was in college, I used to go to a Starbucks like as a meetup point to do
Hmm.
some work. But like let's say like the local coffee places or cafeterias, we go to like hang out with our friends, like to have coffee, to eat. So yeah, that's like a big difference versus like United States.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Makes sense. When I was there, I found that not only were there cafes that were built like around the social aspect, so friends and family, but like
Mhm.
very, I would say, premium experiences in the sense
Yes.
that if you order like a pour over, they'll bring you the actual craft that it was poured in. They give you like a little ceramic mug that you could pour it in and like
Yeah.
flight to taste. So to us, that's like very premium. Whereas in the United States, they'll just give you a plastic cup or like some to-go cup and say, "Here's your pour over." So it's a little bit
Mhm.
more of an experience there as well. And I'm
Yes.
wondering if there's an opportunity for the United States to do something similar for people who really enjoy it. Or honestly, we have a lot of folks from other countries either visiting or who live here now, and it might
Mhm.
be interesting to kind of make a cafe similar to one in Peru, for example, that would kind of service that market. So that makes sense. Do you have any? We have a chain here called Dutch Brothers, and it's really focused on sweet, sugary, kind of like frozen caffeine drinks. Very quick to go type of situation. You don't really stay there to hang out. Is there something like that in Peru?
Like sweet coffee, you said?
Yeah, so it's like, are you familiar with Red Bull, like a energy drink?
Mhm. Energy drinks, yeah.
they sell like energy drinks kind of mixed with coffee, and it's
Oh, that's cool. Never
yeah,
heard of
yeah,
that.
it's a different vibe here, but that's another
Yeah.
one of our coffee shops. Do you have anything like that in Peru?
That sells like kind of energy drinks with coffee. No, maybe like Dunkin' Donuts. That it's like
Oh
more
yeah.
like grab and go. But usually like cafeterias or that are specialized in coffee are more like about the social experience. And like you said, you can order a coffee and you see them like doing it or with like the special ceramic pottery. It's all about like the experience, and you see like people taking pictures and everything, and a lot of
Hmm.
tourists as well, like you said.
Yeah, like I was one of the gringo tourists walking through there. Steer clear of these people. Just kidding. So, what are like the traditional coffee drinks there? You mentioned Americano, some of the other ones, but are there
Mhm.
any Spanish names that you might be able to share with our listeners for specific coffees that are unique to Peru, for example?
I think like the coffee names are like pretty much the same, like
Universal.
probably as in, like you have Americano, I don't know, espresso, cappuccino, mochaccino, maybe ice latte. But what's different is like maybe like the beans. Usually, cafeterias that are more like specialized sell their own beans as well.
Hmm.
So you can like take it to go, or like maybe tourists also like buy it, and they come from like different places of Peru. Like
Hmm.
it could be from the mountains, like from the jungle, and they have different tastes. So that's like cool.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like we don't have very many, I don't, or any really, in the continental United States, coffee producing regions. So if we did have
Mhm.
beans at a shop, it wouldn't be from our country. Maybe Hawaii, um, but that's obviously not connected to the continental U.S. So it's pretty
Mhm.
cool difference there that you'd be able to have those beans in house from
Mhm.
the restaurant's farm or something like that. So
Mhm.
very cool there. And then I'm just trying to see, because generally, like I mentioned earlier, we have some different vocabulary that we want to share with our listeners if they want to either visit Peru or are learning Spanish, or in this situation, visit United States and learning English. So we have coffee, obviously, cafe in Spanish.
Mhm. Yes.
Like you mentioned, some of the words translate well. I think it's probably originating in Italian. Cafe
Mhm.
latte, cappuccino, mochaccino. I'm trying to think if we have anything else from an English perspective that is unique to the United States, referring to coffee. Coffee beans. How does that translate in Spanish?
Granos de café.
Granos de café. Okay. Okay. So can you give us a little order? Let's say I wanted to go order just black coffee, not Americano, but drip coffee, let's say, and I want to take a bag of beans to go. How would we say that in Spanish in a cafeteria in Peru?
Mhm. Okay. So I will start with, hola, quisiera un café pasado para llevar, to go, right?
Yeah, to go.
Eh,
Actually, it's
para
probably illegal to take it to go in Peru, right? Should I stay there and eat with
yeah,
family and friends?
it's not that common, like
Para
unless you
aquí.
are in like a Starbucks or something like that. But
Mhm.
in like cafeterias, like people go to stay there.
Mhm.
So, hola, ¿me puedes dar un café pasado para llevar y unos granos de café, no sé, de Cajamarca? Like it's
Mhm.
a place, a city here in Peru. So, yep,
Cajamarca,
that would
nice.
be
Okay,
yes.
so cafe pasado, what does that mean? Is that just black coffee? Pasado?
It's like drip coffee. Yeah, like black coffee. Uh-huh.
Okay, cafe pasado. I've never heard. Is that unique to Peru, or is it throughout other Spanish-speaking countries
No,
as
yeah,
well?
I would say throughout like Latin America.
Nice. I'll have to use that one next time I travel. I'm learning things myself. So in English, obviously, we would say, "Hello, how are you?" Um, I would like, so me gustaría in Espanol. I would like
Mhm.
a drip coffee black, meaning we don't want any milk or anything in that, and a
Mhm.
bag of beans to go, please. And our beans will probably be de Cajamarca también, porque no tenemos granos aquí. So we probably have to use something from Peru or another coffee producing country. So Very cool.
Mhm.
All right, everybody, you have the order: café pasado y granos para llevar, and black coffee and beans to go for us. Um, so that's kind of just a high level of the differences between the cultures. As you've heard, much more focused on family, friends, community in Peru. The specialty experience, we have some of that here in the United States, primarily grab and go and drive through. You have learned a few words: lonche, lonchecito, which is part of the culture there in Peru. For us, we don't have something similar, maybe a lunch break, but even then, I don't think it would be as culturally ingrained as Lonchecito. And then you have your order. We have black coffees to go. If you want another order, drop it in the chat. We'll be able to follow up with the Spanish and English version. But yeah, we just wanted to highlight the differences. Hopefully, you learned a few things through language and conversation today. If you're practicing for an exam in English or Spanish, we have those solutions as well on Bamboo. So drop it in the chat. We can follow up with some information for you there. And also, we need ideas. So we'll do another one next week, likely. If you want to hear another episode before next week, let us know. If not, you'll see us next week with the next edition of The Exchange, o en español, Romina,
El intercambio.
Intercambio. Okay. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll follow up with all the chats that you drop. Have a good one.
Thank you. See you soon.